Hey, welcome to our next video training as you kind of do your homework through our 2 Timothy group. So Kim, glad you're part of this video. The conversation today is the power of praying for other people. And let me just share an experience for you where either someone prayed for you that was powerful or when you prayed for somebody else and that was a really powerful moment.
Yeah, gosh, I have lots of those. I mean, I love when I get the text from a friend who says, just want you to know I'm praying for you. God brought you to my heart today, and just helps me be reminded that God is, he reminds me through people that he's thinking of me and that he is caring for me. But I think in particular, recently there was a friend who was struggling with something, and in the moment, I was just like, you know what, I have no advice to give you. The best thing I can offer you today is prayer. And so I just stopped right where I was and I was praying for her. But as I prayed for her, God really began to give me some insight into the situation, I would say. So I was just praying, God, that you would help her to see this and help her grow in this. And it was awesome. I just love that God gave me that little nugget, that he allowed me to come and be a part of what he's already doing in her life.
Yeah.
And just how that blessed her. And it brought us together in a way that, I'm continuously checking up on her. And it wasn't some amazing supernatural thing, but it was just that God allowed me a glimpse into what he was doing and allowed me to be a part of that. And so then it's just a wonderful thing for our relationship, for my relationship with God, because I never want to miss that. I always want to be available to that whenever he wants to use me in that way.
Yeah. I say a powerful moment. It's not because it's not this emotional,
Right.
Explain when we say a powerful moment, why is it a powerful moment?
Just because when I went into praying for her, I knew nothing. I was just like, God, it was an awareness of, God, I have nothing that I can give her, but you do, God. And I'm just bringing my friend to you, bringing her to your feet.
Yeah.
What can you do here, God? We're just asking for your power in this situation. And then as I prayed for her, I feel like God gave me that glimpse of, I'm really trying to work on her heart in this situation, and just that she would receive my love. And so as I prayed that totally resonated with her. And so it is powerful, and that God gave me his wisdom and knowledge and discernment as I prayed for her. And just that he allowed me to be a part of what he was already doing.
Yeah. A little bit of what I hear you saying in this conversation is when you pray for somebody, it's not just me giving you advice or some good words for you to consider and to think about.
Right.
When you pray for somebody, you're saying, in a sense, as a person, hey, I can't help you,
Right.
but I know somebody who can.
Yeah.
And that's just a really powerful moment for you who prays for somebody.
Yes.
And for the one who gets prayed over.
Yeah.
Because of what happens when you just connect with God. It's just a really significant thing. And it doesn't always mean you got to have goosebumps down your arm,
No.
this Holy Spirit comes down like
Right.
a dove and the Trinity shows up. That's not what we're talking about here. But to know that there's power in knowing that someone loves you enough to take you to God.
Yeah.
But there's even more power to know, to be reminded in a moment, whatever those moments are, that there's a God who loves you.
Right.
And that's where the power really is, in the sense of helping us change our perspective on whatever we think is going on.
Right.
To go, God, what do you have for me? And what's significant for me?
Yeah.
My confession here, it's easy for me to go, you might, hey Zach, can you pray for this? I'm like, oh yeah.
Pray for you.
I got you, of course you. And then a day goes by, a week goes by, a month goes by, and forever goes by, and I'm like, oh, sorry, Kim.
Yeah.
Why is it for us important, not just as leaders, but just as followers of Jesus? When somebody says pray for me, or to engage in prayer with somebody, why is that important? And why do we take that more seriously than sometimes that we do?
I mean, I just think because God calls us to pray for one another. I think it is the only power piece that we have in any portion of someone's life, because we don't have the power. It's all God's. And so when we see people hurting and we're in relationships with people that are struggling, it's just that constant reminder that the power comes from God and that he allows us to be a part of that. So you never want to take that lightly, and you never want to discount that. And so, and it's in that building that relationship with that person. And when you're bringing someone else before God, it reminds you in your life that only God is the answer to all of it. And so the fact that we serve a God that allows us that communication with him, and that prayer does accomplish things in his will and through God's will, but it reminds us and refocuses us and resets us.
Yeah. And maybe just share, last question. When you pray for somebody, not just you ask me to pray for you, and I walk away, and later that night I pray for you. But
Yeah.
actually, like, stop in the moment and pray for somebody. What does that do for that relationship?
So I think there's two things that can happen. If you have like a pharisaical prayer and you're there just to impress them with your words
Yeah.
and, hey, look, be so impressed
Yeah,
of my
no.
prayer, like that doesn't do anything for your relationship.
Yeah.
But when you are humble and you're praying for someone and just acknowledging, God, we need you here. Please do this for me. Please help my friend. Please guide us in this regard. By humbly submitting and praying and acknowledging with them and through them and in front of God that we don't have the answer, that only God does, there's something between that. There's a relationship that's built because you are humbly entering into a hard situation or even a praise situation with someone, that you're forming a partnership with them,
Yeah.
and a friendship and a bond is formed there because you're going through something together.
I love my phone.
Yeah.
It has lots of great things. I could text a prayer.
Yep.
I could even now voice a prayer.
Yep.
I could send videos of prayer. Like I could pray lots of ways for people. And we should. We should find ways to engage in conversation,
Right.
engage in prayer with people. But there's something powerful when you're able to stop, like in the setting like this, and say, "Hey, can I just pray for you right now with all the things that are going on?" It bonds your heart. It bonds your soul in ways that
This doesn't help.
this never
Yeah.
can. This never will.
No.
Even when you go home and pray that night and you're in bed before you fall asleep for somebody, like that's good, and,
Yeah.
your heart grows in compassion
Yeah.
and empathy, and awareness of them. But there's something really significant. There's really power when you sit with somebody
Yeah.
and go, "Let me pray for you."
In the moment right now.
Yeah, and so even when you think about your one-on-ones you do with the other people or with your mentors, like take some time at the end of your time just to practice this. It might be awkward. It is awkward sometimes.
Yeah.
And even I do it. I'm like, I don't know what to
Yeah.
say. But practice, like practice, and just see what God would do in your heart towards that other person.
Yeah.
But more importantly, see what God does in your heart for yourself to Him.
Yeah.
And watch what happens when you take a few minutes and just be faithfully and just say, one of the most important things I could do is pray for somebody. And when you have that heart, watch what it does to your relationship and watch what it does into your own relationship with God. Any last thoughts about the power of prayer and praying for other people?
No, I just think it's a powerful thing in that we dismiss it too much. We try to give advice or we just want to listen. And I think that prayer is just the greatest thing that we can do for each
Yeah.
other in our own relationship with the Lord.
There you go. Try it out. See what happens.